Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins as Ray drives home with his wife, Joanne, and daughter, Piri. The atmosphere in the car is far from cheerful. Engulfed in yet another heated argument, Ray and Joanne find themselves grappling with the recurring issue of Joanne's parents disapproving of Ray, exacerbated by an incident where they offered him wine, despite knowing about his recovery from addiction. This particular spat began when they arrived late for dinner, a consequence of Ray's deliberately slow driving, a crucial aspect of his recovery, following the tragic car crash that claimed the life of his first wife, Abby, many years ago. Despite Ray's genuine desire to mend things, Joanne is growing skeptical about the fate of their marriage, contemplating whether they should face the harsh reality. Amidst the tension, Piri's music player malfunctions, prompting Ray to improvise a distraction. Singing a charming tune, he captures Piri's attention, until a bathroom break is urgently requested. The family decides to make a pit stop at the next gas station. While Joanne attends to Piri's needs, Ray embarks on a small shopping mission: coffee for himself, a soda for Joanne, and batteries for Piri. Succumbing to a moment of weakness, he also grabs 2 small bottles of liquor. However, their plans hit a roadblock when the clerk refuses Ray's credit card. Faced with insufficient cash, he is forced to make a tough decision. Opting to prioritize his family's well-being, he leaves the batteries behind, claiming they're out of stock, and decides not to mention the liquor to Joanne. As they prepare to resume their journey, Piri adds another complication: she has lost her compact mirror. As Joanne heads to check the gas station's bathroom, Ray grumbles about the mess in the back seat left by their daughter. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Joanne steps out of the car for a brief wander. Adjacent to the gas station lies a construction site, where Piri unwittingly approaches an exposed pit. Suddenly, a feral dog emerges, alarming Piri. Hearing his daughter's cries, Ray rushes to her aid, attempting to ward off the dog with words. When that fails, he resorts to throwing a rock, successfully driving the dog away, but startling Piri, who falls into the pit. In an attempt to grab her, he also falls in the pit and hits his head, resulting in both father and daughter unconscious at the pit's bottom. During those harrowing moments, Ray hears a voice proclaiming, "They're both gone." Regaining consciousness, he finds Joanne beside him, mourning the deceased daughter. Initially numb, Ray pushes Joanne away, but upon opening his eyes, he reawakens to see Joanne is cradling Piri, who now has a broken arm. With urgency, he lifts Piri carefully, and they make their way back to the car. Joanne holds Piri securely to prevent further injury, expressing her desire to call 911. Remembering a hospital sign he saw earlier, Ray insists on driving them there, showcasing a daring and risky driving style he had avoided for years. This reckless journey elicits a sense of pride from Joanne, who had doubted Ray's commitment to their family during their earlier argument. Upon reaching the hospital, Ray encounters resistance from the receptionist, who dismisses him and tells him to wait like everyone else. Joanne, frustrated, urges Ray to assert himself and seek immediate help. He perseveres, signing the admission sheet, and the receptionist notifies Dr. Bertram of their arrival. While waiting, Joanne hands him Piri's scarf for comfort, and apologizes for her earlier outburst, expressing gratitude for his swift driving. A shared joke brings a rare moment of laughter, and he reflects on the significance of such moments. Observing her discomfort, he retrieves a cold soda from a vending machine to alleviate her neck pain. Through the door, he notices an ambulance delivering 2 bodies, and leaving with a box of organs. Later, they are called into an office to provide Piri's information, while awaiting the doctor. The secretary delves into Ray's past, questioning his previous wife, alcoholism, and employment. She persistently suggests organ donation for Piri, a proposition the grieving parents ultimately decline. Amidst the intricate questionnaire, he discovers the hospital doesn't accept his medical insurance. Promising to pay in cash after withdrawing from an ATM, he awaits a resolution. The secretary seeks approval for cash transactions, and engages in a cryptic conversation with a hospital administrator, before dispatching a nurse to admit Piri. Piri is finally settled in a bed, and Dr. Bertram conducts a gentle examination, addressing Ray's account of the incident. Joanne is surprised to learn about the dog, a detail Ray had omitted. After the examination, Dr. Bertram expresses concern about potential internal damage, suggesting a costly CT scan. Unfazed, Ray pledges to cover any expenses for Piri's well-being. Brushing off inquiries about a scratch on his head, he remains stoic. Nurse Folk brings a plushie to distract Piri during the impending scan. As only one visitor is allowed, Joanne accompanies Piri and the nurse to the lower levels, leaving Ray in the waiting room to nap. Hours later, he is jolted awake when a fellow patient points out his sleep talking. Checking his forehead scratch, Ray inquires about Peary at the reception desk. A shift change complicates matters, and Dr. Bertram is no longer available. The receptionist promises updates but struggles to locate Peary's information. Frustrated, his rising temper manifests in a bleeding forehead scratch. Amidst the chaos, he observes people outside disposing of hazardous waste bags. Desperation sets in as he demands to know his daughter's whereabouts. The receptionist attempts to contact the lower levels, leaving him anxiously awaiting news. Furious and desperate, he confronts the receptionist, only to be told that there have been no child patients in the lower levels in the last 24 hours. Ignoring warnings, he rushes to the assigned bed, only to find a different family occupying it. Chaos ensues as he creates a scene, prompting the intervention of Nurse Lucado, Guard Jeff, and Dr. Lucado. Dr. Lucado investigates Ray's story, examining the day's paperwork, but there's no mention of Peary. Ray's frustration boils over, and he confronts the nurse who attended to his forehead wound earlier. The nurse denies seeing Peary, and accuses him of lying, leading to a heated confrontation. In an attempt to subdue him, Jeff and the nurse administer a sedative, dragging him to a private office. In the office, he feigns compliance, promising to behave. As soon as he's left alone, he injects himself with adrenaline, to regain alertness. Breaking a window, he escapes the office, and navigates the hospital corridors, determined to find his family, despite the pounding in his head. Encountering Folk, now dressed as a doctor, Ray is interrupted by Jeff. A chase ensues through the hospital, culminating in a daring escape when Ray hides in the back of a truck, fooling Jeff into thinking he has fled. Returning to his car, Ray contemplates his next move, clutching his daughter's toys. Spotting a police car, he approaches officers, recounting the bizarre events, and presenting his ID and a family photo as evidence. Taking the accusation seriously, the police decide to investigate, questioning Jeff, Dr. Lucado, and eventually Dr. Bertram. Despite the denials, the officers inspect the room with the CT scanner. However, the computer logs reveal no scan at the time Ray claims Peary was there, casting doubt on his account. Accusing the hospital of relocating his family, he faces an uphill battle to prove the truth and locate his wife and daughter. As they await Dr. Bertram's arrival, the nurses search the trash for old admission sheets, confirming Ray's presence at the hospital, but only as a lone patient. Dr. Bertram arrives, recounting Ray's earlier visit, where he arrived alone after claiming to be in a car crash. Folk had sought Bertram's opinion due to Ray's erratic behavior, and Bertram proposed a head scan, which Ray adamantly refused, expressing a desire to return outside to his deceased first wife, Abby, confusing him. Ray accuses Bertram of stealing Abby's information from the questionnaire, raising suspicions among the police officers. Jeff proposes a resolution, checking the security cameras. The footage shows Ray alone, who points out glitches in the system, which Jeff attributes to its age. Unable to access cameras within the ER area, due to privacy concerns, the officers lack grounds to search the hospital without a warrant. In a desperate bid to validate his story, Ray suggests seeking confirmation from the gas station clerk. The police officers call the station, requesting assistance in locating the clerk for questioning, and hoping to find external evidence that aligns with his account. The shocking truth unravels as Ray's memories collide with reality. Dr. Jacobs, a psychiatrist, guides him through the haunting events. There was no feral dog, no mysterious gas station clerk, and no perilous construction site. In a fit of rage during an argument, Ray threw a rock that inadvertently caused Peary's fall. When Joanne confronted him, Ray pushed her away, resulting in her tragic demise. Jacobs explains that Ray's mind created alternate realities to shield him from the traumatic truth. When the police investigate the construction site, they discover Peary's compact and an unsettling amount of blood. The canine unit finds no signs of any person, transforming the area into a crime scene. Ray's descent into a dissociative state becomes clearer. As Jacobs delves into his memories, the psychiatrist concludes that Ray murdered Joanne and Peary. However, Ray's mind protects itself by fabricating a version of events where his family is still alive. The revelation prompts a breakdown from Ray, who denies the horrifying truth. Just as the police are about to arrest him, a feral dog reappears, causing Ray to snap out of his dissociation. Seizing a police gun, he takes control of the situation, locking everyone in a gas station bathroom. His escape plan involves returning to the hospital, where he confronts memories of Abby's tragic death, revealing the origin of his distorted visions. Ray, now disguised as a doctor, coerces Jeff into aiding his descent to the lower levels. A violent struggle ensues, ending with Ray taking the keys, and advancing towards the horrifying truth of organ harvesting. Convinced that his family has fallen victim to this gruesome operation, Ray races to rescue them. In the lower levels, he discovers a plushy nurse Folk gifted Peary, indicating their presence. However, as he confronts the doctors and nurses, it becomes apparent that his family is not there. His desperate act, shooting a sleeping gas tank, initiates chaos, leading to a fire. In a dizzying escape, Ray rescues Peary and Joanne from the chaos, shooting anyone in his way. As the family drives away, singing together, the revelation hits. Jacobs was right, Ray had hallucinated the entire scenario. Instead of saving his family, he took an unconscious patient. His family's bodies had been in the car's trunk all along. The nightmarish journey through the hospital was merely a concoction of Ray's fractured mind, leaving him to grapple with the harrowing consequences of his actions, driving towards the sunrise. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.